Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Something to Talk About.
Hi, y'all.
Thanks for joining us on this pretty Thursday afternoon.
Yes, pretty but cold.
Freezing. It is cold here in Birmingham. We don't know where you are, but it's chilly here.
But we have some really nice stories that are just going to warm your heart.
Yeah, warm you right up. To kick everything off, if you guys follow Southern Living at all, you know that we love the Gaines family. And Joanna Gaines is actually coming out with a line of dog holiday-related accessories, which are so cute. Yes. If you've watched our show at all, you know that I have a dog named Jeter, and I'm wanting to get him like everything on this list. But yeah, so they're from her Magnolia line at Target, so you can stop by Target and pick them up. It's like everything your dog would need to get him or her through the holiday season. And the best part is every product is $35 or less.
Nice.
Which is amazing. Yeah, so there's tons of stuff, but some of my favorites are the plaid holiday leash. Plaid is huge this year. It's all over the place.
So hot right
now. So if your dog, if you want to keep him up with trends, you know, get him at the plaid holiday leash. There's hats, there's scarves, there's sweaters, pajamas, everything he or she could possibly want to keep him merry and bright this holiday season. So
this one even has a little head accessory.
It does. Like for a dog in a colder climate, you know, keep them warm if their fur is just not enough.
Or, you know, our dogs, they probably have pretty thin blood. So used to it being warm that when it gets cold.
That's true.
They
they can't handle
it, just like us.
Yeah, they can't handle. So I think it's the really cute stocking stuffer. If your dog has a stocking, which ours does, shamefully, I think they would be really happy to wake up to any of these things on Christmas morning. So definitely check them out.
Very cute.
Yes.
Love it. Changing gears a little bit, yesterday, of course, was the funeral for our 41st president, George H.W. Bush. All of the living presidents were there, current and former first ladies, vice presidents. It was a really moving ceremony at the National Cathedral. And George H.W. Bush's oldest son, our 43rd president, George W. Bush, gave his eulogy. That was very moving, but also at times funny, which the Bush family is known to be, that they can find a little happiness even in the sad moments. But yesterday we saw a really tender moment between George W. Bush and his younger brother, Jeb, who has been a presidential candidate in the past. And during the eulogy, President George W. Bush talks about his dad's being known for his zest for life. His 90th birthday, he skydived.
Crazy.
Yes. I don't want to skydive on my 35th birthday, and I'm definitely not going to do it on my 90th. But he he landed right outside the church where he married his wife Barbara in Kennebunkport, Maine. And so, yeah, I mean, President George H.W. Bush, known for having that just zeal for life. And then one of the moving moments in the eulogy, President George W. Bush recalled a line from his father's inaugural address that I do want to read because it is just, I think it's something I could just pin on my board and just look at this.
For sure.
He said in his inaugural address, "We cannot hope only to leave our children a bigger car, a bigger bank account. We must hope to give them a sense of what it means to be a loyal friend, a loving parent, a citizen who leaves his home, his neighborhood, and town better than he found it." And regardless of your opinions on the Bush's policies, I think we can all agree that they all did strive for that, to leave their country and their communities better than when they took office. But George W. Bush, as he was finishing his eulogy, he did begin to tear up. He went to sit down with the rest of his family, and we saw on camera his daughter Barbara give him a little okay, like, "You did great, Dad, it was perfect." And then when he sat down, which is when this photo was taken, his little brother Jeb reached across and grabbed his hand, and he said something to him that got them both smiling and laughing. And some journalists noticed that this is very similar to when President George W. Bush was in that same church shortly after 9/11, giving an address to the country in mourning. And when he sat down, his father, President H.W. Bush, reached over and grabbed his hand in kind of the same gesture. So I just thought it was really sweet and touching and hopeful. And, I thought it was appropriate for us to take a moment to remember our Southerner and 41st President George H.W. Bush.
Yes, he was a amazing man. And regardless, like Meg said, of what side of the political spectrum you fall on, I think, you know, Southerners just relate to the Bushes because they always put family first, and they have that strong family core value at the center. So they're pretty great. Next, back to Christmas, you can actually, or you and your children, if you have kids, can track Santa Claus this Christmas, which see exactly where he is in the world, which is actually really exciting, even for me. It's done by the North American Aerospace Defense Command, and it's a Santa tracker, but this year it includes games, videos, and music for the kids. It actually has been going on for 63 years, which is crazy. I didn't know that. And it all started with a mistake, actually. It was a misprint in an advertisement for Sears, and it gave children the telephone number that was supposed to be Santa, but it ended up going to the commander-in-chief of the NORAD, is what it's called, predecessor. So he immediately kind of hopped on board and got people, his staff, to track Santa and kind of tell the kids where he was. And that's how the tradition was born. So
I love that.
That is so fun.
If it was me, if my work phone number was misprinted and people were calling me, I would be annoyed. But I love that he just embraced it.
He did. I mean, when you have kids calling you being like, Santa,
that's true,
you know, I feel like you have to really get on board quickly. But yeah, so Google also does a version of this, and it's in its 15th year, which is pretty neat. So the main event will obviously start on December 24th. But yeah, grab your kids, get them to track Santa, and it's very, very direct. So it tells you exactly where he is down to like your city and things like this. So that's pretty fun.
You know, I worked in local news for about 10 years, and we used the NORAD Santa tracker on Christmas Eve, and our weather team would always be the ones that track Santa because they had the graphics and all of that they were already getting.
Oh, that's so fun.
So I remember I always worked in the 10 o'clock news. I remember the 10 o'clock news on Christmas Eve, our meteorologist always like pulling it up, and no matter where I lived in the country at the time, Santa always seemed to be headed to our area around the 10 o'clock news. So the meteorologist could always send out that last minute warning, you better get in bed, Santa is so close. He's in Mississippi, headed to Birmingham.
Oh my gosh, that's
so
so
it's
fun.
Always fun, yeah.
Oh my gosh, don't ever get too old to search the skies on Christmas Eve. Okay. Oh yeah, you have the next story, Meg. I was about to steal your story.
Oh, that's all right. It's the season of giving.
Yeah, there you go.
This is another happy, heartfelt story. A team of nurses and doctors and hospital staff at a NICU in St. Louis do what a lot of offices do, where they pull their money and enter the lottery. And this team had been doing this for several years. And they all pulled their money to enter the lottery, and they won. They won $10,000. They didn't win the huge, mega, billion-dollar jackpot. It's hard for us to follow here in Alabama because we can't play the lottery. So forgive me for not having the correct terminology. But they did. They won $10,000 in the Mega Millions lottery, and they were so excited. It was 126 employees from Mercy Hospital. So when you do the math, that gets to, each of them was going to get to pocket $56. Not a lot, but I mean, hey, that's some good pocket money, especially around the holidays. Yeah. So they were pretty, I think it was the excitement of actually winning. But shortly after they learned they had won, they also learned that one of their staff members, who was also in the pool with them, her son had died. He committed suicide. He was 17 years old. And then another person on their staff, a neonatologist, her husband had recently been diagnosed with stage 4 sarcoma cancer. So they had two members of their team, both faced with unbelievable hardships. So they all decided pretty quickly that instead of pocketing $56 a piece, they would take that money, and instead of splitting it 126 ways, they split it 2 ways. One to the mom to help her pay for her son's funeral, which is extremely painful, and then the other to help the neonatologist pay for her husband's cancer treatment. So sad circumstances, but it also is a beautiful story. One of them put it this way, that she was really surprised they won the money, but she was not surprised when everyone decided they would just pull it and help the two people on their team. So I love that.
That's such a good story, especially around the holidays where everyone's like really in the spirit, and I'm sure it made a huge difference in both those families.
Yeah, and they said they hope stories like this encourage others to spread kindness and love. And I know for me it did. It made me really think like that is great. I love reading stories of inspiring human beings because it always just reminds me to be a good person.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes we need those reminders, you know? We get busy this time of year. So Last but not least, this is super exciting. Well, I guess it'd be more exciting if I was attending, but still, in general, it's exciting. So we all know Downton Abbey. Southerners love the show. Everyone loves the show, but especially Southerners. I think it's that, it's in line with tradition like Southerners love, and it's, the matriarch of the family and that
and
sort of thing.
We don't have castles here.
Yeah, that's true. We all want to be a princess or,
or a countess.
A countess, yes. So this year for Christmas, Highclere Castle, that's where the show is filmed, is actually opening its doors and hosting a grand Christmas ball, which is so exciting.
So fun.
I know.
Christmas ball, castle.
Yeah.
I love all of it.
England. It's just it's a good time all around. It's going to be on December 15th, so you still have time to get there. But it is a little bit pricey. So it's around £490, which comes out to about $630 per ticket.
Did you do that conversion in your head?
I didn't. I should have taken credit, but I did not. I did live in London for a year, but I still don't have that in my head. So it's done by London's Premium Tours. It's not just the ball, though. You get a special tour of the castle grounds. You get champagne, a 3-course dinner, and you get a post-supper caroler group that's coming to sing. I don't know. It just sounds so festive and fun. And funny story, I drove with my mom and dad to Highclere Castle on a Sunday when it was closed, just so we could see it, because my mom and I both watched the show together.
Is it near London?
It's not. It's a couple hours outside of London.
Wow.
Yeah, so we drove. My dad got in the car and drove on the wrong side of the road and the wrong side of the car. He was like, I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to try. And we got up to the gate and kind of took a picture from far in front of it. And we got to see it from a distance, and it was worth it. But to go inside and sit and be inside of the castle, and that would be pretty fun.
Oh, that sounds so amazing.
Yeah.
It's I feel like the closest thing we have here is the Biltmore in Asheville.
Yeah.
I've been to the Biltmore a couple of times, and every time I go, I just think I could just see Mary Crawley here. This is so Downton Abbey. Even though I know it's the Vanderbilts and it's all American, but it is that Gilded Age, and it's just so fun.
It is. There's something really special about it. So if you're looking for an especially extravagant Christmas gift for someone this year, that would be an awesome trip. And it's, cocktail attire, so everyone dresses up really fancy.
Is it present day cocktail attire, or is it period cocktail attire?
I don't know. They didn't specify.
I think you should just go, if you're going, you should just go full Downton Abbey and show up in your period
think I
wear,
would,
because that is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, when else are you ever going to get to wear something like that?
Exactly.
So, anyway.
The full, headband across,
Yeah, all of it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, that's all the stories we have for you, but Meg has her must-have, which is secretly my favorite part of the show. So, take it away, Meg.
Yes, it's another beauty product because, as I get up in age in the 30s, I'm trying to maintain what I'm working with here. But this I discovered probably a couple weeks ago, and forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. It's French, y'all, but it's Laneige. It's a lip sleeping mask. I found it at Sephora. It's so amazing. It, especially, I feel like this year, worse than winters past, my lips are just chronically chapped, just constantly bothering me. It could also be, it's like Louisiana Day up in the test kitchen today. We've been making all of it, gumbo and pralines and everything. So I've been having all of these spices, which has not been helping the lip situation. But this sleeping mask, you just put it on at night, just like a lip balm, just a little pot in here, put it on, and you go to sleep and you wake up, and it really does make a huge difference. But the most amazing thing, this thing is huge for a lip mask. It's almost a full ounce. It was $20, but it takes the tiniest amount. I'm saying pin needle amount almost, and it will cover all of your lips and last you through the night. It's amazing. I love it. And it also smells really fruity, and I love it.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So if you're looking for stocking stuffers or something for yourself, highly recommend it. Like I said, I believe I got it at Sephora. I'm sure you can find it other places.
Is it like chapstick consistency, or?
It is.
Okay.
It's if you had a little chapstick that comes in a little pot like that. Yeah, it is. But it's when you start working with it and the heat of your body, it gets really silky and smooth.
Nice. So. It smells amazing. It smells like grapefruit almost. I like that.
So that's my must-have of the week. It's just this has become essential for me this winter.
Just set it by your bedside table.
Well, because here we went from 80 degrees to 20, so we have been cranking that heater, and it is taking a toll on my skin.
Dry everything: dry lips, dry hair, dry skin. Gotta hydrate, ladies.
Yes,
seriously. Well, that's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna be back next week, Thursday, 3 p.m. with more holiday-related stories.
Yes. So subscribe. If you subscribe and hit the little bell, because it's Christmas time, hit that bell.
Yeah.
You'll know when we're going live. And then
Yeah.
you can join the conversation and comment with us. And we love to hear y'all's stories and,
Yes.
you know, what you think of my hair,
Right.
or whatever other thoughts you
Yes,
have.
give us tips.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We always use tips.
Yeah. Well, you guys have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.